touch someone else's chair, those are both penalties.
Oh, okay.
And even if somebody hits you and you fall into their lap, because you've fallen into their lap, you've initiated the contact, you'll go into the penalty box. Fix-A spinning around looking for somebody to give the ball. I'm not sure why he didn't just score that.
Maybe to burn some time off the clock?
Possibly, but it's really early in the game to be thinking like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're only 2.5 minutes in here. And even though there's only 32 minutes of game time, it's a 90-minute game. There's, you know, with the breaks and all the time between the whistles. And really where you can win these games more than anything is between the whistles. Getting position, being where you need to be before the other guy gets where he needs to be. There is a lot of chess in here, a lot of thinking ahead. You know, if you're always chasing somebody, you're always behind them. You have to beat somebody to where they're going to be instead of being to where they are. Simons with the try, makes it a 6-5 match.
Now, at some point, when they get boxed in back in the corner like that, it almost looks like they could give up. Like they want to, they just hold there because they've already missed it. Yeah.
I mean, if there's a way to get out, you want to fight your way out, but you also don't want to wear yourself out.
If they're already halfway down the court, yeah.
And you also know that you're going to have an opportunity to get out of there. Toyoji gets across. Simon's looking to grab in there, but yeah, because once you get possession of the ball, if you really want to get out of there, you can call inbounder, and they have to let you go down and take the ball. Simons got Holden on him. Holden gets beat. Fix-A sitting up top, waiting for that.
Nice block.
And Patterson stopped there. Rodriguez got a little piece of him to make sure that he couldn't cause any trouble. Patterson trapped on the baseline by Rodriguez. Miller to Holden. Back to Miller. Miller looking for Toyoji. He doesn't want to take it by himself. Toyoji sets a pick. Actually rolled up on the wheel of Ryan Lindstrom. And that's all it takes sometimes is just enough contact to slow that guy down.
So he can't take him out.
Change directions.
Right.
Yeah. Simon's double teamed. Lindstrom goes into the pile. And off the wheel of Rodriguez. Oscar Mike calls a coach's timeout. It's his 60-second timeout. 8-6. Looks like some clarification of a call going on here for the referee.
From a coach's standpoint, what's the coach talking to the team about right now?
On a situation like this, you know, they had a turnover. I think they're talking about some of the roles that they expected to play against this team. And it looks like they're maybe not seeing the looks that they thought or not winning the battles they thought they would win with the matchups. So they're probably considering a different defensive strategy, whether who to double team or whether to go man or zone. They might want to drop into the key to slow things down. You know, if you know you can't keep up with the team speed-wise, they'll drop in the key and try and save your energy. Or maybe your key's your strongest defense. Matchups really play a role. You know, I've had plenty of opportunities where I can beat a team, my team can beat this team beats another team, but I can't beat that team that beats the other team or that loses to the team that I beat all the time.
Because of the style of play and the pace they play.
Yeah, and sometimes it's personnel too. Right, if you've got 4 ball handlers, it's really, really hard to defend. But if you're not fast, then you only need 2 really fast ball handlers to be able to run around a team that's a bunch of mid-pointers. Especially if you've got great low pointers. And I look like a much better player when I got a good low pointer in front of me. Toyoji trying to get around Lindstrom. Lindstrom reaches in and pops it out. And they're going to say that Toyoji touched it after it came out of his lap. And that's a turnover for Oscar Mike. Quite a crowd here for Oscar Mike. I've seen some games with 6 people out there in the stands, so Obviously, home team. Oscar Mike hosting this event for us. Lindstrom beats Patterson, hits Toyoji. Toyoji's so light.
Yeah.
He's quick and he's smart, but he's so light you can really hit him.
He plowed right through him.
Around. Patterson to Toyoji. Toyoji will win that race.
It's just pure speed.
The speed at the international level is crazy. You'll see a lot of that in Division I games. Simon's looking for an option. Lindstrom up the top to Vixay. Vixay, whose classification has fluctuated a little bit from 1 to 0.5, but he's been steady at 0.5 for a while, so I think they got it right.
And who determines that?
We have 30-some classifiers around the league that are, they have to be a physical therapist or a physician, I believe, to be a classifier.
Okay.
4 in the key. Vixay gets bumped in there. Can't have 4 defenders inside that rectangle between cones.
Gotcha.
So those classifiers get special training. There's a whole set of classification rules. And what they do is they try and evaluate your capabilities based on your neurological situation. So they're not going to penalize you for being strong or being training, you know, because you get better. They're not going to increase your class because of that. They want to know, are your fingers capable of doing this? How much range do you have? That kind of stuff.
So great steal.
Yeah, and that's big for Oscar Mike here to create a little separation.
Looked like that timeout worked for him.
One advantage NorCal has here is that these players have been playing together a long time. They know each other really well. Obviously, Oscar Mike has been training together all season, but they're a new team, so these guys all played with different guys last year. Grayson Holden gets the try. Now it's 10-9. Oscar Mike on top. Simon's looking for somebody to give the ball to. Lindstrom comes and breaks off his defender. Toyoji and Patterson trying to get to him. Simon's sitting close to the line here, looking to develop a play. He's got Vixay to Lindstrom. Lindstrom is looking to work with Simons, but I don't know what they're doing here. Clock is running down. Simon's backing up. It's so hard to hit somebody with a pass when they're going backward.
Oh, boy.
And Holden's going to tie it up here. Oh, I didn't realize that NorCal was on top. It's 11-9 NorCal.
Oscar Mike's the home team?
Yes. Simons brings it back. Got wrapped up in talking about the game. The game as a concept more than the game at hand.
Now, when they're counting down, when they're down on this side of the court, they have how many seconds before they have to get the shot off?
Well, there's a 40-second shot clock on the wall there.
So
we
that's
use that.
Their count.
Right,
Yeah.
and a lot of times people count down other things. They'll count down the game clock. They'll count down the 10 seconds, or they'll at least let you know that there's a fire. Chet Miller,
very good defense,
stuck in the middle. I believe that's 10 in the key. Or did somebody call timeout? No, 10 in the key. So that's a turnover.
Okay.
You're only allowed as an offensive player to be inside the key area, which is that long rectangle again. It's like 8 meters by 1.75 meters. And if you're in there as an individual for more than 10 seconds and you're on offense, you will get a penalty.
Okay.
It'll be a turnover.
So you can't clog up the middle.
You can on defense, but you can only clog it up with 3 guys. If you put a 4th guy in there, we saw Vixay get bumped into that box, and he went to the penalty box.
Oh, okay.
And that's a foul on Lindstrom. He was all over Toyoji. got a couple of subs for NorCal. Of course, one of those guys' numbers isn't on here. Number 6 is Tom Cloyd, and I have no idea who number 8 is. We'll just call him 8. Toyoji gets the inbounds from Cloyd. Eight appears to be a high pointer. Certainly in a high point chair, which would put me to guess he's at least a 2, probably a 2.5 at the low end.
And what's the difference between the chairs then?
Well, the reason that the ball handlers' chairs don't have that cow catcher on the front, they kind of have a shield to bash through them.
Okay.
And those wings are to protect your wheels from those pickers. The pickers on the low point chairs are there because your job is more to be an obstacle than to squeeze through a gap, break through a hole. And the ball is loose, 57 seconds left, 12-12 here as we are in our last minute of the first quarter. Oscar Mike with the ball, Tim Vixay into Lindstrom. 8 there to stop Vixay. Simons with the ball on the wrong side of half. He's got a picker, and the timeout's called. They ran out of their 12 seconds. Shot clock is down to 28. But that's not the clock they use to determine those 12. The referee counts them.
That's the hand movement that I see.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can use that as a reference to say, hey, it's pretty close. I've seen it get down to as far as 24 before we get to that. But it just depends on how it's being counted. Sometimes it's counted quick, sometimes it's slow.
So they took a timeout to avoid?
Yep, to avoid a turnover, which those floor timeouts, that's the best use of them. Anytime you can prevent a turnover, it's a good timeout, even if you use them all 4 in the first quarter.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it doesn't do you any good if you take them to the next game because they don't let you use them there.
You can't carry them over.
Nope. And then, like I said, the bench timeouts. Bench timeouts are, you get 2 of those. They're a minute long, but you can only use those in a dead ball situation, so you can't use them to save a turnover.
But the coach can call a timeout.
Right.
Okay.
And that's the bench timeout.
Gotcha.
Rodriguez. Into Lindstrom. Lindstrom looking for Simons. And Rodriguez there to make sure there's plenty of space. Counting down the shot clock is Oscar Mike. 25 seconds left. 13-12. Oscar Mike now in the lead. Toyoji going up court with 8. 8 needs to come back and give him some help. He does. Oh, over his head. Bad pass. So I don't know if that maybe got tipped from behind by Lindstrom, but Lindstrom there waving for the ball.
Oh, boy.
Toyoji picks it up. 3 seconds left. He's going to run toward the goal as fast as possible. And he does. He scores.
He's got some speed.
As the buzzer expires and ties this game up, 13-13. We're going to take a 2-minute break and come into the second quarter. Welcome back to this final game of pool play for each of these teams in the Division II National Championship. Oscar Mike currently tied with NorCal. And NorCal will start this quarter with the ball.
You said NorCal pretty much plays the San Jose area? Is that where
yes.
most of them are from? Okay.
Yeah, they're south of San Francisco. Used to be a team out there called Quadzilla.
Okay.
Apparently they were pretty good, but that's we're talking a long time ago.
And Oscar Mike's the only veteran.
Only all veteran team.
Yeah.
There are vets all over the league. Lindstrom pushes 8 across the line, creating a turnover. Well, not technically pushing is a penalty. You have to separate contact. You can't keep pushing on a guy and put him into a penalty situation. You have to break contact and hit him.
Okay.
You can hit him across the line, but if he's resisting, you can't push him across. You can't push him into a meter. Simons gets around him, uses his hips a little bit to get Toyoji off of him. And the ball stuck to his hand a little bit there. 14-13, Oscar Mike, the first lead of this quarter. Toyoji looking for an out. 8 right on top of him. He also has Holden, and they call timeout.
He wasn't going anywhere.
No, and he didn't really have a pass option either.
Right.
So that was a good call. I mean, he still had some time, 4 seconds left, but if you don't see an option with 4 seconds left, you're not going to find one and take advantage of it in that period of time.
So now they're 3-3 as far as timeouts left, correct?
Yes, both teams have 3 floor timeouts. I know Oscar Mike has used 1 bench when they tried to regroup early on. Looks like Simon's looking for some clarification from the referee. Either that or they're both drawing in space. Toyoji gets the impound from Cloyd. 8 there working with him, trying to create some space in the keys. Hung up on what we call the chaser, the guy who's sitting outside the key. Lindstrom getting his arm up. I can't see what's going on. Oh, there we go, Holden. Good thing we got this monitor. There's so many camera people here. So Lindstrom inbounds to Chris Hall, who's seeing his first action of the game. Chris had his classification protested by someone this weekend.
Okay.
Protests are anonymous, so you don't know unless the protester tells you so.
And then what does that goes into review?
They review all of his muscle tests and his play tests that they do to determine your classification, and he was actually classed up from a 2 to a 2.5. Chris then protested his own classification with a specific argument as to what he thought was not correct, and that process is ongoing. They did his muscle test earlier. I was sitting in on that, and they're play testing him right now. They're watching him play.
Okay.
The interesting thing there, though, is that once the crossovers start, which is when this game finishes at 1:30 is when the crossovers start. So if they don't make a decision on his classification before that time, he has to play the class he is now. But if they make a decision before this game is over, then he can, and it's a new classification, he can play at that new class, or will play at that new classification.
Okay, so they'll change it instantly if they feel that there's reason.
If they are confident. Now, if they have other things they want to test afterward, or they want to confer with the people that are in the classification, like myself, and I played the player advocate because my classification is in the same ballpark. There's also a board member that sits in on classification, and his coach sat in on classification. So it's a very serious process. We want to try and make the game fair, everyone playing on equal playing field, so that you succeed on your merit, on your hard work, on your knowledge of the game.
And that classification can completely change the strategy to how you play your team.
Totally. Oscar Mike's lines have changed because Hall is unable to play on the same line. Toyoji there with the try, ties it back up. 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Simons has Hall. And Hall will pull it in for the try.
Nice pass.
Toyoji followed by 8.
Trying to block.
There's a soft little hit on Hall there. He's trying to hang on to the chaser. Toyoji gets around the corner. Nice job by Cloyd to open that corner up. Simons gets out all by himself. And do a little back pick on him. And Simons calling for help. Toyoji gets around Hull, but not able to get off of him. And Lindstrom will go to the penalty box. He doesn't feel there was any contact there. At least that's what he's telling the referee. Ryan will serve his minute. Or until once a goal scores, it's kind of like hockey. If a goal scores, then you can come out.
Okay.
Yeah. I still call it a power play.
So they pretty much just let him score then so they can bring him back in?
Sometimes. Not always.
Okay.
I mean, if you're in a situation where you have to create a turnover, you don't want to cause another foul because then you've got another guy in the box and now it's 4-2 and only one comes out. But you don't always want to not be aggressive. You want to keep yourself out of trouble. Toyoji is lying on the floor as Lidstrom crosses the line for the try. And because he's not in the way of the play at all and not in any danger, they're just going to leave him right there.
Okay.
If the play stops advancing toward the goal, then they'll call that and flip him over. But they kept moving toward the goal. You'll hear people yell, "Don't turn back, don't turn back." So he basically just got caught as Chris Hull was passing that ball and popped over. Toyoji helping 8 push that chaser over. Cloyd also in the mix. Toyoji was going to go across, but Hull had his hand on the ball, forced him to turn a little bit, but he made it anyway. Lindstrom again to Simons. Hull up top, but he's got Toyoji with him. Cloyd coming after Lindstrom. And the pass. Chris Hull does a nice job of spacing, making sure that Lindstrom had an opportunity to pass if he couldn't make it himself.
Boy, he just cannot contain Toyoji.
Yeah. He's slippery. Being light too, you know, the weight of your legs spinning it around because it's out in front of you slows down your spin. So the guys who do not have legs actually have an advantage because they can spin because all their weight is over that spin point. And if your legs are really light, that also is to your advantage. And so a lot of people too will bring in the front of their chair if they can to make the length of their chair shorter.
It looks like Toyoji does a great job of just weaving in and out, getting around that blocks.
He probably has some trunk to help let him use his hips to do that. He turned on the wheels there, hoping to force his way in. He saw people weren't paying attention to where he was, but they turned back. Gets around the corner, ties it up again, 21-21 with less than 4 minutes left in the first half. Oh, Toyoji reaches in, and they'll give him a foul. Hull had chair position, so Toyoji wasn't going to be able to get in front. He went for the ball. So number 8 Inbounding. Oh, you know what? His name is probably on one of those cards there. Can you tell us one of those cards have a name on it? It's probably a newer card. He looks like a newer player. What's the guy at the top?
Oscar Mike's is on this side.
Oh, sorry, wrong side. Yeah, you're right. And 8 gets the try. I think that's his first try of the match. Simons waits for Hull to go around. Gets turned, stopped by Cloyd. And Holden is pushing and turning his chair. And Simons uses a timeout. He had no place to go with the ball. At least he didn't see one. Little boy in the crowd eating the Thunder Sticks. Somebody gave me one of those clappers, but I told them I couldn't use it while I was down here in the broadcast booth. This is only a 30-second timeout. I'm surprised we're still here. Referee should be calling him back on the floor. Stephen Toyoji.
I believe number 8 for NorCal is Scott Foster.
Scott Foster, okay. Hopefully I can remember that. You're right, he doesn't have a number on the roster, and he's a 2-5, and I believe that he's a 2-5. Especially since Toyoji's a 2-5, that's 5 points. Holden is a 2, that's 7. And Floyd is a 1, that would be 8. So mathematically that makes sense. Okay. Although we've got now Justin Patterson back out there. And Chet Miller. Toyoji working that corner.
Boy, he just fits himself in there.
Is that Ortiz? That's the low pointer on Oscar Mike. You can't read his number. Hall. Stopped by Holden and Miller. Off at Toyoji. Simons gets it. Toyoji and Holden both reaching in. Simons actually put his hand on top of Holden's. It's interesting. So yeah, I thought that Mason fouled Grayson there. Because he kind of put his hand over on top of
his own.
Oh, looks like lunch is served. Get over there sometime between games. I called almost every game yesterday. I had to try and find food as I was going through because we were behind schedule, so they were just 10 minutes. Time to go to the bathroom and get back.
They were running out.
By the time I got over there, lunch was gone.
You know, Oscar Mike is hosting this year, and I think they've done a great job of putting this whole facility together. And I know that it's been a lot of hard work and a lot of volunteers time. And
you know, the first year of hosting nationals is overwhelming.
Oh, I can imagine.
So anytime you can get somebody to host for 2 or 3, it means that the next 2 are going to go better. Right. And I'm sure there are things going on behind the scenes that are things that they didn't plan to go that way. But I haven't really noticed any. You know, we had a transportation issue the first day, and that unfortunately is compounded by the distance from the airport.
Right.
So if you some people got delayed, some people gave the wrong time of their flight. They gave their departure instead of the arrival. You know, they can't look at all the players' times to see if they're right. So they had bus issues because they originally had some buses planned that ended up getting pulled away from them. And then when it takes 3 hours to make a round trip to the airport, and you're off schedule, that can be a problem. So they're trying to work that out. They're looking at facilities next year and transportation options that will make that better. And having this under their belts will help that a lot. Toyoji gets the try, ties it back up 24-24. 2:06 left in the second period. Both teams looking to create some space here. Don't really want to go toe-to-toe the whole time. Can be mentally exhausting. Simon's backing across the line. He likes to do that. Vixay, great job getting to that ball. Now he is getting swarmed. That's the rules, right? You go after the low pointer. You try and make sure they can't get that ball out of their lap. But Lindstrom takes it away. Rodriguez spins around and around Holden and finally gets across the line.
That was a lot of work.
Nice job protecting the ball there and still maintaining the presence to get across the line without going out and in. Because if you go across that line with one wheel and then come back onto the court, they will give you a penalty and take that ball away. You have to cross with two and score.
Gotcha.
If you get one across and it stays across, you can continue across at some later point. But you can't come back. Patterson is trapped. Calls timeout.
Oh, wow.
There's no way he was going to get that one in because Vixay had him tight. So NorCal using their first timeout.
You know, Dave, you're talking about the logistics of just moving all of these athletes from one part of the country to another. And I mean, they're coming from all over, and there's so much that has to be pre-planned, and as far as transportation, rooms, and it's just it's quite the feat. And it's
Yeah, some people have specific room needs. We try each hotel only has so many rooms that are accessible, so we try to make sure every team at least has one in case someone needs to have a specific type of shower or whatever. You know, the logistics of transportation are that, you know, a wheelchair takes up more space. You need a way to get onto the vehicle. And then we have all of our equipment to transport too.
Right.
They can do that in a trailer. I don't need a special vehicle, but it needs to go back and forth to the airport and back and forth to the gym.
And not to even mention all of the needs for the equipment and the wheelchairs and these break down on a regular basis, and they've got to make sure that they've got ample parts. And
yeah, I heard that they found a welder who volunteered their time and also went and got titanium to help do welding on the titanium chairs.
Wow.
Oh, Simon's a little trouble there. He's asking for a penalty call. Toyoji and he kind of got locked up a little bit there, but not going to get that one. Patterson into Holden.
oh boy.
Miller. Chet was classed down last year. He's been playing for a very long time. And, you know, when you've been playing that long and your function changes slowly over time, you don't think about the fact that your classification might be wrong based on A, the way the rules may have changed, or B, just over time your function or abilities have decreased. So he was the beneficiary of a decrease in his, and it was clear, I sat in on the classification, that his classification wasn't correct. Simon's protecting that ball. Shot clock counting down. Vixay. Miller trying to stop him, but Vixay gets around the corner. Toyoji gets a pass from Patterson. Stuck in a pile. Bounces off of Vixay and gets across half. He's got Lindstrom in his way. Gets into Patterson. Rodriguez there. Oh, no.
Didn't make it
I
across.
thought he was across the line. He's sitting on the line, and the referee says no.
So close.
The referees are going to confer. Technically, the front of the line is the goal line, not the back.
Okay.
So if he's touching the line, he's over it. I would love to be able to see that one in slow-mo and hear the sound.
Yeah.
So you can see when the buzzer went off, because we don't have the clock right there, right? I mean, there's a clock running, but I don't know how well synced those are. Looks like they're exact. Oh, we might get this play right here. Oh, no, this is the Vixay play. So it's a 5-minute break between quarters. So a little Daft Punk in the background. Toyoji's pass. Patterson slides across, and the referee's going to get in the way. He is across the line.
but you can't see the clock. So
Is he saying that the front wheel isn't over? Because the front wheel went over first. I think it was a goal. Well, 27-26, we're going to be back here in 4 minutes. Go get something to drink and join us for an exciting second half. Welcome back to Rockford, Illinois for the USQRA National Championships. We're here at the UW Sports Factory, UW Health Sports Factory, in this Division II game between Oscar Mike Militia and the NorCal Quakes. NorCal from San Jose, San Francisco area, and Oscar Mike is the host team of this tournament. They're based right here in the Rockford area, though most of the players do not live anywhere near here. Vixay with the first try of the match. Grayson Holden will race Ryan Lindstrom to the try line. Oh, he didn't think he could make that corner.
Wow.
Pulled back, but he's got Chet Miller over there. But that's the key there. You want to try and force people to pass because we're all quads. No matter how good our function is, you have a much higher opportunity for a turnover if somebody has to pass than if you just let them take the ball across the line. There's Mason going backward again. Oh, that was close to over and back if he'd gotten some contact.
Ooh,
Patterson
knocks it out of it.
Hicksey's hands, but that'll go off of Justin, and Oscar Mike will get it back. Good play. And good hustle there to try and save the ball, too. Lindstrom looking for Simons. Patterson swiping, and Rodriguez with the score. Patterson gets it out to Toyoji. He's got both Oscar Mike high pointers on him. Toyoji around. Vixay gets his teeth in there.
Man.
Rodriguez on the backside. He's got to get the ball out of there. He's going to get 10 seconds in the key. I think they got 4 in the key.
Oh, okay.
Oscar Mike's 4th player. Once they cross into that box, that person has to go and sit in the penalty box. That's Mason Simons. Coach doesn't think that was a very smart penalty. I don't know if you can hear Coach Rick Kohlberg over there chatting it up. Grayson Holden. So Toyoji's trapped in the corner. Vixay's got him. He's going to try and keep him there as long as he can. So once this play starts, Holden tried to break him off. And he does. That's enough to get him out. Because he'd have had to sit that play, the next play anyway, in the corner.
Oh, okay.
And that's a mismatch, right? You got a 2-5 versus a 0.5.
Mm-hmm.
That means you got 2 more points of function out the rest of the court. Lindstrom fires it in to Simons. Simons ducks Patterson. Toyoji there, he gets around in too. He'll take that by himself.
Last little shot before he goes over.
30-28. The difference being that Oscar Mike had first possession. Simons has his hand in there. Could have been a jump, could have been contact, ref couldn't see it. I saw both. Ooh. Patterson's trapped. Rodriguez would be smart not to keep reaching over the shoulder because they will give you a foul for that one. They basically assume contact if you come from behind unless the ball's way up in the air. Simons getting reached on by Miller. Gets it out to Lidstrom. He's got Vixay up top, but he doesn't need him for the pass. Now he's got Simons, he'll flip it to him.
Nice play.
Good court awareness. He knew he was there, but didn't look at him so that it didn't send a defender over that way because they were double teaming him. This court is the only one that it's in its own room. The other 7 are on the other side of this wall. They are separated by a concession stand, and then on top there's a bar and grill apparently. I haven't been up there yet. A lot of people in the key. Patterson looks like got pushed across the line, and that will be a turnover. So Rodriguez will inbound here. Simons hoping to get that over Miller. Miller got quite a reach. Simons to Lindstrom. He's got Vixay, but the basket got a piece of it. Grayson Holden will take that turnover and make it back up for the turnover they had previously. Oscar Mike getting ready to make a change. Chris Hall sitting here in the substitution box.
Here he goes backwards again.
I get yelled at for that all the time. But I usually do it, I usually don't try and cross half court that way. Because when you get hit from behind and you're going forward and you flip over, that's a penalty. That's a vertical spin. But if you're going backward and somebody hits you and you flip over,
that's not a penalty.
It's kind of on you.
Yeah. Got to see where you're going.
Because your backside is now your front side, right? But it's so much easier to flip over when you're getting hit from behind because of the way the chair is designed. It's designed to take the impact from the front, not the back. And your weight's going to be so far back. Simons again backing out. He's also going to be faster going forward, which is why I get back for it.
Ooh. Simon comes through.
Well, so far it's worked out for him, so it's not going to change his behavior. If he does something and it works for him, I can't blame him for doing it. Holden. Stopped by Lindstrom, gets it over to Toyoji as everybody collapses on the ball.
Boy.
Somebody's got some interesting electronic noisemaker. At least they don't have a vuvuzela.
Don't miss those, do we?
No. There's very few thundersticks in here today. Lindstrom stuck on Toyoji. Toyoji reaching his lap, trying to block the pass. Simons gets it. Patterson there. Patterson and Toyoji. Toyoji breaks off. Miller keeps him from going around the corner. Toyoji now gets blocked by Lindstrom. Holden unable to be in the way. Miller reaches up. Not sure why it ended up in Vixay's hands, but he got it off to Lindstrom, and that's what matters. He got across the line. Vixay has a very good pass and catch for a .5. That's why he's on the floor. Got Miller backward across the line. He's looking for somebody to pass to. It's hard to pass when you're going backward, too.
Yeah, it is.
Accurately. Oh, Patterson there.
They've got him bounced in.
Tries to get it back to Toyoji.
Oh, and he doesn't get it.
Holden picks it up. And with 1.7 left on the shot clock,
you get a foul.
Timeout by Justin Patterson. Really good call there. So in the USQRA, if you have less than 15 seconds on the shot clock, you reset it to 15.
Okay.
So you can use a timeout to add time to the shot clock.
So they don't come back out there with 1.5.
Right.
Okay.
Now, because it was 1.5 or 1 point something, it looks pretty close, but there's no decimal point on the shot clock. They just push the one digit over and run the second one as in tenths of seconds.
Okay.
When you get underneath 5, maybe? 3? I don't remember what the number was. So 15 seconds for NorCal to score here on the Oscar Mike P. Toyoji pressing a little bit, gets it into Patterson.
And he leans back. Oh.
He leaned back to try and keep the ball away. Miller, I don't know, he's asking for clarification, or
he's been chatting with the refs most of the day, so something's bothering him.
He is most likely the captain of this squad.
You said he's been playing for quite some time.
Chet Miller, yeah, long time, longer than me. I got 18 seasons under my belt.
All right.
His first one of this quarter. 35-33, Oscar Mike on top. 3 minutes left in this third. Holden gets around Rodriguez and Vixay. He's got Patterson up at the goal. He'll take it home by himself. No reason to pass that one. Vixay slipping out to the top, looking for a cherry picking opportunity. I don't think Chris Hull can pass that far, but if he can get it to Simons, Simons can toss it over the top like that. But Miller now playing, keeping him honest.
He's got such a good reach, Simons does, that he can.
And the foul by Looks like it's going to be Grayson Holden reaching up there trying to get in the way of that ball. Using his hands rather than his chair to play defense. I was always taught, stop the chair, turn the chair, and start worrying about where the pass. Because if you can turn a guy to a position where he can't see where he's passing, or isn't in a position to make a good pass because his left hand or right hand doesn't work so well, you're much more likely to create a turnover than if you're swatting at the ball. Now you're talking about getting a foul, right? Or putting your hands in the air. You're not holding on to your wheels so they can push out of it.
Okay.
You're holding on to your wheels and getting that guy's position bad, you're more likely to be successful on defense. At least that's what I was taught. So Oscar Mike inbounding.
That tied up the game.
Power play, yep. That was a shorthander. So
Nice
Scott
block.
Foster back in the game. Nice that we have his name. Thanks for tracking that down for me, Mark.
So how many fouls can one player get?
As many as they want.
Okay.
Which kind of is a problem because when somebody's scoring, you can basically slap at them as much as you want because it'll just be a penalty goal. There's
right.
no extra penalty for fouling on purpose. So there's been some talk about the idea of setting some foul limits, whether they be as a whole or on specific types of fouls, but it's never gone anywhere. As commissioner, I hear all kinds of discussion that never goes anywhere. So, it's interesting. You see a lot of changing rules and a lot of things that people have comments on, but nobody really wants to change. Not enough to do something about it.
Yeah.
Oscar Mike with a bench timeout here. They will take a minute, try and regroup. NorCal kind of celebrating their comeback here.
Yeah, it's quite a run.
But this timeout is all about shifting momentum. Some coaching that'll happen here too, but changing the momentum, slowing the bleeding, right? Miller here with the turnover, giving it to his ball handler, and that's when Vixay says, "Yeah, we got to call a bench here because this is getting out of hand." Bring down the energy, let's bring down the speed and have a conversation, maybe do some personnel changes. I think Oscar Mike did switch some guys out, or at least one guy out. Simons might be getting a rest.
Got Ortiz back in.
Oh, this is, Ortiz gives them the ability to put 3 ball handlers on the floor. But they lose the benefit of a more functional low pointer who can catch, who can pass. Guy who's a 0 doesn't usually see the ball.
Gotcha.
You lose a lot of speed there too in your low pointer. Holden going in to try and get in the way, but called too fast. Foster with the inbound to Holden. Foster gets around Simons and ball
wide
to
open.
Toyoji. Lindstrom trying to find a ball option. Simons calls for it. And Hall, nice job there getting open. Simons did a nice job knowing he was there. Not a penalty if nobody sees it. Grayson Holden there pointing out that Chris Hall might have crossed the sideline. I didn't see it, so I don't know if it really happened, but he was waving around like, "Hey, ref, what's going on?" Foster with the try. Puts NorCal back up by 1. 1 minute, 20 seconds left in the third period. This game has gone back and forth quite a bit. I think the fourth quarter is going to be pretty exciting. 1 minute, 11 seconds left, 39-39. Oscar Mike looking for a turnover here.
Turnovers, make it or break it. It's this close.
The other consideration here is the possession arrow is in favor of NorCal.
Okay.
NorCal, that means NorCal, if there's no jump ball, will get the ball at the beginning of the quarter.
Okay.
So teams often talk about and work for the first goal of the quarter, the last goal of the quarter. 'Cause that's 8 points in the game you can get. So if they're playing heads up and they can figure out a way to get a jump ball while NorCal has possession, they'll take that possession arrow, flip it over, and now they'll get the first possession of the next thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's in their favor. Clock counting down, 30 on the shot, 52 now on the game clock.
Just trying to burn some time.
Well, there's a magic number, and people say it's anywhere between 50 and 55, where because it's a 40-second shot clock, you want to make sure you get the next possession.
Because then you're going to run it out.
You leave 10 seconds on there, extra 10 that they can't burn off. So once they score, you have 10 seconds to score, at least 10 seconds. But if Oscar Mike scores quickly, which I thought they were going to do, then there would only be 40 seconds left. They didn't score quick enough. So that's the idea. If you leave more than 10 seconds, they might have scored quickly enough that they get the last possession because it'll be 46 seconds,
okay.
Right? So now I got 6 plus. Another unique rule, which you may see taking effect right here. Oh, the foul. They'll give him the penalty goal. That 15-second thing I talked about, people will use a timeout, run the shot clock down, call timeout, get 15 seconds more back, and that 14.4 seconds, now I've got control of it, so I don't have to give the ball back. But I have to use the timeout to do it.
Yeah. Oh, nice block.
Toyoji to Miller, and with 2.5 seconds left, NorCal gets the point. And remember, they have the possession here, so they get the first ball. So they have a chance to go up by 2. Simons chucks it, caught by Foster. I'm surprised Foster caught that. He didn't see it coming.
I know.
All right, each team gets a 2-minute break before we go into the fourth quarter. This one's interesting. I'm sure we'll see you back here. Welcome back to the USQRA National Championships in Rockford, Illinois. The ref asking the possession arrow to be switched. We're here in the fourth quarter. This is NorCal Quakes leading the Oscar Mike Militia 41-40. NorCal with the ball based on the possession arrow. So they'll get their first chance at making this a 2-point game. Ball tipped away by Simons. It was supposed to go to Holden, but that will still be NorCal's ball. Shot clock does not get reset, however, because there's no change of possession. So it's 13 seconds, and it wasn't a foul. 13 seconds on the shot. Foster at the back of the key. Toyoji reaches in for the ball.
Oh, yes.
Simons pops it out and gets the turnover. I'm going to say Toyoji bounced off the front of Toyoji's chair. Rodriguez. Bully is Lidstrom.
Oh, boy.
Oh, and a turnover
pass.
turns into a turnover. That happens all the time. It's some odd, contagious. Something about when you get a turnover, there's some anxiety around it, and people tend to not realize, I got 40 seconds to do this. Let's take our time and take advantage of it. And you'll see people who get a turnover give one right back all the time in this game. 42-40.
Did you just call it technical foul?
I didn't see what it was about, but it's treated it like a technical. I don't know what happened there. So Simons running the power play here. Down by 2. Miller unable to get back there. Simons going backward, which gives Miller an opportunity to get to the ball. And Foster now out of the box. He has to call inbounder. So this will change the defense for Oscar Mike if they're paying attention. Toyoji gets the ball. Back to Foster. Foster ducking underneath Toyoji and Miller. Rodriguez there. Simons to help. Toyoji will get the try. So what kind of sports have you done previously?
Well, I used to do some local softball and just, more community type based sports. So it's really interesting because people can become very passionate about their local team, and you have a tendency to really kind of.
I see passionate parents with 4-year-old soccer.
Exactly. Oh.
Toyoji pounds it home. And, I made a comment there about how light he is, but he certainly showed he's capable of breaking through.
He's got the momentum.
Lindstrom looking for an out. He has Vixay. Can Vixay catch up to it?
He does.
And that's why he's out there.
So, Dave, you said you've been playing this for 18 years?
I believe it's 18. I kind of lost track.
And you've called nationals.
I've done lots of USQRA nationals. I've done a couple of world championships, and I actually got to do the Paralympics in London. I discussed going to Brazil with the Paralympic Committee, but I ended up in the middle of an adoption of my nearly 5-year-old son.
Oh, congratulations.
So we decided that it was probably best to stay here. Yeah, he's a great little kid. Brian Lindstrom calling timeout. Didn't really have a place to go with the ball.
You also went to Australia?
I did. They had World Championships in Australia in September. I was only there for 5 days. I was in the gym the entire time.
It's tough when you have to work and you can't enjoy it.
Yeah, I talked about going, and then I couldn't because of work. And then I was invited to go, and so because of the travel, because you lose a day on the way there, I ended up showing up a day after they started. But I did games the whole weekend, the rest of the weekend, the last 4 days. Little guy is passing out.
Yeah.
Simons and Foster battling in the middle here. I'm pretty sure the ball's in the corner, yeah. Lindstrom gets out Miller. Holden slows it down a little, but Vixay is going to carry it across. Bumps into Foster, drops it, bounces off his picker, back into his hands, and he gets it out.
Oh.
Rodriguez,
Nice
I don't know
grab.
how he held on to that one. And Holden knocks it
Oh,
out.
look at that.
Simons, boy.
Scoops that up off the ground.
That was an ugly collection of possessions, but a score is a score, right?
Yeah.
Holden to Foster. It's interesting that NorCal seems to have a lot more confidence in this line.
Oh, a turnover.
Simon's stuck at the line, but gets across. He's looking for an out, protecting the ball. Talking to Lindstrom, somebody's got to get out of that pile. And now Lindstrom has the ability to take that pass.
Vixay blocks him.
And Rodriguez on the opposite side of the goal.
Wide open.
So that, yeah, Lindstrom needed him, trying to make the defender choose. Foster to Holden. Miller up front trying to keep Simons off him. He helps some, but Simons able to swipe. He does like to reach. Chet Miller not a primary ball handler here, but he can't get it back to Holden. Holden has nothing. Foster there. That's up top. Can he get it?
Yeah.
And across. So NorCal now up by only one after that turnover in the last go around. Simons wants him to come back, gave him a little head nod. Good nonverbal. Rodriguez waiting for someone to come that should be carrying the ball. Not sure why Lindstrom is staying in the pile there. They're going to give it to Rodriguez. He's got Foster there. Simons drops it behind him.
Oh, he sees me.
And the score. With only 6 seconds left on the shot clock.
Wow.
When it's tied, you can use all the shot clock. Go for it. As long as you maintain possession and get the goal. Foster drops the pass. But Toyoji gets it, calls timeout as he's crossing the line. He knew the 12 seconds was coming, but he was right at the line. I'm surprised he wasted a timeout on that. He must not have realized how close he was to the line. Or he was afraid of an over and back. Nobody cares about bench timeouts. Getting a timeout check there by coaches. So Oscar Mike with one floor timeout left. NorCal using their last right now. 46-46, 3 minutes and 43 seconds left in this all-important game. Fourth period, 3 minutes 43 is a whole lot of time. And because nobody's down in this situation, one turnover is going to be the difference.
Right.
One turnover. Right now, NorCal has the advantage because they have the ball on the tie. Add in, as they say. In tennis, I believe?
Yes.
Or volleyball. Simon swiping, trying to create a turnover. Toyoji can't get around and Miller comes out to help. Now Toyoji has the advantage. He's got a corner, and we got 4 in the key. So it'll be Vixay going to the box for 4 in the key. The shot clock resets here, which is a big deal in many situations because it's a penalty. So now we've got 46-46, 3:18 left, but a brand new shot clock.
So would the advantage be, or the strategy be here to waste some time, burn some time off
might.
the clock?
You think about you've got a minute without another player. Run down that 40 seconds because they've got the advantage, right? So for them, it's tie or ahead, whereas for Oscar Mike, it's behind or tie, right? So they want to try and have every opportunity to get a turnover. And when you're shorthanded, that's a lot harder. Justin Patterson sitting at the line. Rodriguez gets in front of his chair with the picker. He's going to back it across now. Simons punches Toyoji out of bounds, but if you don't cross the goal line, it doesn't matter. Vixay comes on, gets the pass right out of the box. Getting a lot of pressure and a jump ball by Justin Patterson.
Wow.
Now that's going to be Oscar Mike's ball, but it does flip the arrow. So the next jump will go to NorCal. Simons with Toyoji and Miller. Toyoji, number 11, waiting and watching.
Oh.
Drop the pass, and that is why you don't want to throw to a low pointer in this situation. So much harder for a guy with no finger function to catch that pass. Chet Miller up there looking to set a pick. Toyoji being patient, and Simons trying to make something happen. He's going to make this one easier for him. So a new shot clock, 40 seconds. So they can burn down 40 of this 218. And if they can score on the power play, NorCal will have a 2-point advantage.
It's going to be tough to overcome with 2 minutes.
We'll see here, Simons pulls back the arm of Toyoji going after the ball. Lindstrom in there, trying to get to Toyoji. So is Vixay. They want him to score. They want as many opportunities to try and get back to this. 14 seconds left on the shot. Toyoji staying out of the key so he doesn't get 10 seconds. And he'll cross with 7 left on the shot. Simon's way up top. That ball's going to come, and he's going to get an easy score if he can get his hands on that. Whoa. That looked like it almost hit his wheel.
Yeah.
It had a little top spin on it. Patterson calls inbounder, and Simons hit him, but not truly obstructing because he hadn't called it yet. Or it hadn't been called by the referee. Holden over the top to Toyoji. Lindstrom coming from behind, trying to create some trouble. And because Toyoji turned away, they're going to send Lindstrom to the box. And that's a mistake, because now they get a new shot clock and 40 more seconds they can waste. And that's exactly why Toyoji turned away from the goal.
And what was the foul?
You can, unlike football where you can catch a pass in the end zone, you can't cross the goal line without the ball.
Oh,
no matter what team you're on. So if you're on the offensive team and you cross it, it's a penalty, which creates a turnover. If you're on the defensive team and you cross the line, you go into the penalty box.
Oh, boy. Okay.
But if the ball is advancing toward the goal, they'll call it a penalty goal if it's probably going to be scored. But Toyoji turned back. So the ball's not advancing toward the goal. They put the guy in the box instead of giving you the penalty goal. And that breakdown is going to cost Oscar Mike 40 seconds. Minute 14 on the clock. 16 left on the gate or the shot clock. Lindstrom sitting in the box thinking about that. And Toyoji will score with 5 on the shot clock left. Now only 1.1. 1:01. A minute and 1 second is plenty of time to score 2 goals, especially if NorCal mishandles their inbound. Lindstrom to Vixay. Vixay gets hit by Toyoji. He's going to try and back in, not going to make it. He's got some help, but a timeout is called by Oscar Mike. Well, I guess NorCal doesn't have any. That's Oscar Mike's last floor timeout, so nobody can save themselves now. 46.9 seconds left in this game. Oscar Mike won their 2 previous games, so this will make them 2-1. Nice shot there of the referee's chest. Scott Hogsett of the Phoenix Heat waiting to play. And Oscar Mike with the inbound here. Simons knows he needs to score quick. He's looking for Lindstrom. Lindstrom in there. And Grayson Holden went across the line without the ball, which is a penalty and a penalty goal here in this situation. Miller taking the inbound. Oscar Mike going to play as aggressive as they can on defense without causing a foul.
Oh,
Lindstrom
and they got
intercepts. Ties it up. 36.4 left on the clock.
Great defense.
And just as I said, if they mishandle that inbound, it changes everything. Holden. He's got to score this to win it, but he's got to burn off some time, too. He can't give Mike too much time, or we're going to be in an overtime situation.
Oh!
Off to Miller. Intercepted. Player left the court while it was the active goal line, so it's a turnover. But it'll be a turnover with an inbound. If the NorCal player hadn't crossed the line, the ball would have stayed live. But because officially he hadn't been changed of possession before he crossed that line, Oscar Mike had the inbound. So with 17 seconds, Simons now looking for the go-ahead goal.
Wow.
He throws it over the top. He's got Lindstrom. Lindstrom slowing down, 7 seconds. 5, 4.
Wow.
And with 4 seconds left on the clock, Oscar Mike takes the lead.
This is
Toyoji
incredible. They intercept.
And that is the game.
Unbelievable. What a game.
What a comeback.
That was incredible.
I'm glad you came and sat with us for this one.
Wow.
You sat down with me for a really good one.
Well, I'm waiting. I'm going, okay, this is going to be tough. And then you said they got to play good defense, and sure enough, that was the first thing they did. They came back, they intercepted. What an incredible.
That's what it's all about. This is why we play the games, right? We play it to the end. What a barn burner. We got another one coming up here. It looks like it's going to be, well, I thought I knew who it was going to be based by. It was sitting on the sidelines. But those guys are gone now, so I'm thinking they're playing in the other room. My name's Dave Mengen.
Mark Smathers.
We are really happy that you joined us for this game. The next game is going to be the first crossover. I don't know who the teams are going to be. I do see U of A and Phoenix here. I can tell you that it's going to be a D1 crossover. So that would make sense, be it Phoenix and U of A. I'm going to need to make a pit stop here before they play. So hopefully you guys will come back. This game should start up. Usually they wait 10 minutes between games to give the teams a little bit of time on the court. We'll see you then.